Hey Soloists, Agent Solo, Matt Rice here with another week of soloable games that are on Kickstarter, Gamefound, Backerkit, Gamecrafter. Look at those as well, and anything upcoming at the end or any news, which don't have too much news actually to be honest this week. But let's get into it. So this is the campaigns that have come out in the last week. So if there's a campaign that I've missed, perhaps check out one of my previous videos or send me a message, put a comment underneath the video to let me know that I've missed one, and I'll make sure I catch up on it. First one I've got for this week is Odalin or Odalin. Odalin. I'll go with Odalin. Dungeons of Doom by Dragori Games. I believe these guys are behind Tenaris Adventures, which is quite a popular sort of game. This one promises to be like the classic dungeon crawlers, and it talks about finding immersion and nostalgia in these intense battles. And I've heard of people talk about this one in terms of being Diablo-esque game. But we shall see. Let's go through the campaign. It's doing very well. Funded really quickly, even with a 50,000 goal, which is quite big. It's already up to 3,780 backers. It's hardly even a day have gone past. They do have a bit of FOMO to get that miniature for free. I think if you followed the campaign earlier, which I did, but I have to double check after, you still get that as well, I believe, as long as you back it. So we've got here, it's 1 to 4 players, 120-minute playtime. Imagine that maybe that's a scenario thing, because I think this is a campaign type game. Promising different languages. Customize your hero with unique cards and strategies in a game that combines classic dungeon crawler content with deep tactical play. Okay, so they're promising this ginormous mini to start with. $129 is your cheapest, which is pretty up there, isn't it? For your cheapest reward these days. But yeah, we'll go with it. I imagine maybe it promises a lot. I don't know what's really in it. So I guess it's easy hero, the campfire. It's the Diablo sort of picture there. They've also got on this 5 months guarantee of delivery after the estimated date. So if it becomes after that, you can get your refund, which I would assume that would have been the case anyway. But I guess Kickstarter and all these other crowdfunding ones that they're not guaranteed to give the reward. And there's obviously some dodgy companies in the past that have not promised and not delivered on their promise. Stable pledge as well. And you can pay in up to 7 installments. That's really good for people like myself where cash is getting tight these days. Well, the prices, there is a solo mode. So imagine if it's true solo, I'm not sure. I'm hoping yes for this kind of game for dungeon crawler. Gameplay pictures. This is pretty much what it promises. It's big pictures on the page here. This is what it looks like on the table. Your hero mat. It actually looks kind of cool. What's that? That's your dice that you roll. So the Ameritrash style. It says that you get like a combination of like a demon ability with your normal ability. So you combine them into the same sleeve. Yeah. One hero with a powerful demon will create unique fused cards. So assume maybe you have to do top and bottom ability or something. I'm not sure how that works. Is a sleeve that's kind of like Mystic Veil style? Do you just sleeve it in? Special sleeve, yeah. That's probably going to add to the cost of the game, I imagine. Different kinds of items, common, magic, and legendary set collection. Actually, kind of cool if I go back to the art. The different types of dice styles as well, which I don't mind. I like dice. I know some people don't at all. Subdue a demon lord and harness its power. But you can get corruption and you lose control. That seems to be a theme of a lot of games lately. I shouldn't say a lot. A few. Like Grim Covenant had that sort of thing lately, and I've seen some other games do it. So what do you get? You get some bound books. You get campaign book 1 and 2. There's a themed world. There's foreteller. There's mystery boxes to unlock. Cool. Predictable enemies. This is just like the overview. What's going on? Alright, full immersion. It's going to set you back almost $300 US dollars. It's $5 just to follow. 129 looks like your basic. So I swear someone told me that there was going to be like a standee version, but I guess it's not happening. If you want, I guess it's the gameplay all in here. 219. Ouch. For someone like me that doesn't need huge miniatures, but to each game their own something. Scenario pack, deluxe dice pack. Demon pack. Pledges, 4 box. I'm probably spending way too long on this, but I just want to highlight this because I think this is the game of the week for me. Explore it was close, which I'm going to talk about next. 810 cards, 3 different sizes, 50 special sleeves. Oh, so they give you some sleeves to put those cards in. Okay, so it's not quite Mystic Veil card style. 18 room tiles, go to dice, mystery boxes, 35 miniatures, 5 large miniatures. Miniatures, yeah, I don't. That's a shame. If they avoided the miniatures, could put the price down for some people. For the expanded campaign, plenty of stuff, I imagine. Like huge miniature. The full immersion. All right, get some add-ons down here, which hasn't loaded up. Here we go. I think it's Tox Dice, which look actually kind of cool. Pack of demons, so you just get 2 extra demons. Scenario pack. Passages, barrels, traps, amples. Yeah, so that's the bling for you. It's interesting how it's separate. Yeah, they do miniatures for enemies and stuff. Curious. Storage solution. It's cool that I think of that. $9. Hmm. 7 boxes free day one. The sizes. 3-inch diameter bases. 120 millimeters tall. Jeez. We under 2x. So we're any campaigns gameplay. 2 acts in this box sets. I'm wondering if it does very well that they probably will release an extra Act 4, I imagine. You can have myself these are the heroes. With that, let's get to the gameplay a bit. History of Rivers No Tale, creating surprise scenarios in the ultimate dungeon crawl experience scenario interaction. Yep, fast room setup. System. Okay. The bottom half of your cards feature unique instant abilities usable outside your turn. Interesting. I do wonder, like typical dungeon crawl, whether if it is true solo, whether it's going to be the best way to play or not. Generally, dungeon crawlers you need like that. You know, for me, it's like 3. You got to control 3 characters for that sweet spot. It's not really giving me a good idea how the game really plays. It's just like showing off some of the cards, which is, there's a little bits given away. Okay. Increase stats, initial stats. Okay. Take as much current status value. Okay. I'm curious. You only need to keep 1 book at the table at all times with no shuffling around in combat. Less than 20 page action rule. That's good to know what they're trying to say, because I know that learning the rules and having huge rule books takes too long to learn as you play tutorial. Excellent. Hopefully it's like Gloomhaven, Jaws of the Lion style, where they sort of teach you a few things in the first couple of scenarios. Alternative modes. Okay, there's videos coming up. He's got the videos in this one. King of Average. Unleash a Demon. But has anyone actually, there's unboxing. Has anyone actually got like a actual playthrough? I've seen Hungry Gamers one. It's just more like a quick chat. But has anyone actually done preview? Has anyone actually done a playthrough? That's my little critique of this. Where's the playthrough? These are just all previews. Curious. I wonder if it's not quite ready for it yet. Anyway, I've talked for ages on this page. So there you have it, guys. That's Odalin. Looks promising. Looks quite big. If you love your Diablo, this is something you check out with Dungeon Crawlers. Check this one out. Explore it. The Mountains of Godai. This is the 5th volume for Explorer. It's pretty much like a sandbox RPG type game, bit of in between pen and paper and a full-on, in your face, 10,000 components. It doesn't have that. They've gone in between where it's like really, really nice for me. I've done a playthrough myself. If you want to see the Valley of the Dead King, the Volume 1, the original Kickstarter game for these guys. I've also got Volume 4. And Volume 5 is going to introduce tower defense style sandbox RPG. And I highly rate these games. In a way, I find them a little bit underrated. Not enough people talk about them. So it looks like laid out you these maps. Generally, in the past, the maps they can be customizable, so you can set up as you want. But I'm not sure about this one. You have hero boards, and it's a bit of a dry erase marker type stuff where as you upgrade your stats. And these give you like locations, quests, and enemies. And you plenty of contents in here. I think it brings out now for those that are new, familiar with Explorer. I think it brings out like these element dice and also a tower defense style. And there's two different. I was going to say campaign. Two different factions you could play with your hero. So like this Shidian Empire and the Caprican Empire. So imagine maybe it's a different setup. Tower defense style. Siege opponents represented by 5 inches. So they're gonna like tower defense. You got to build up your tower. So I'm assuming it's similar. You got to build up your tower. These bosses are probably coming towards the town, which is an interesting take on it. I guess it's like the original where the Dead King was coming to all the towns. I guess all these bosses are coming to the towns. And it does play out a really good story. These like you pretty much make your own story, different quests. I really like it for what you get out of it. And there's different options here. Choose any core box with $69 from the previous one. That's actually pretty good price to be honest. Of course, I'm paying heaps for the original. Early ship from ones that are available. You can even get Clicks Madness, which I haven't played yet, but I've got it. It adds more variety for the first volume, for example. It's like a playthrough campaign book. So instead of having like a sandbox up game, this one actually gives you a bit more of a narrative of the game, which is fantastic. I'm glad this game gets so much support, and the designs have done really well with this. And there's even these Legends ones which you can now get. Normally, you can only get that on the Patreon. I've got Corrosive History, but I don't have these two, so I'll be keen to get those. And stretch goals and stuff. I'm not doing enough for this page justice here. It's going to go through some of these things. Like you can actually get towers in this version, like things that look like a bit of 3D action going on. Here's your bosses here. That's pretty cool. And there's these elements that do stuff here. Elements opposed to. So I assume there's like these weaknesses and positives with having piercing rock health. Yeah, so they actually do like elemental damage, which would be interesting how that's treated. You actually mine for resources in this version too. So it's kind of reminding me a bit like Euthia. And get resources as you go around. Yeah. Excellent. Interested to see. Like, I want to see a bit of a playthrough of this one runs. Really cool. And there's even like the return to stuff they did that with their previous ones. And it looks like a book, massive bookcase they got going on when you put it on your shelf. Plenty of these playthroughs here. Cool, there is some playthroughs coming up, so I've got to watch some of these. Cool. Try Big Solo. I've heard that guy. And these are like previous volumes. Well, cool. Be keen to check that one out as well. I'm very tempted to pledge on that one. And it's doing pretty well. 2,000 backers, almost. So good luck to them. Wish them all the best. Right, let's move on. Ludus Bank Studio has Blood coming out. As a half joke, I was somewhat disappointed it's not the video game Blood. Because I was really keen for a board game of that. Any kind of first person should be done properly. Instead of being like a dungeon crawl, but the actual first person shooter top game. If someone could figure out how that works, I'll be down for that. Like a Quake or a Blood or a redo of Doom. I know there's Doom board games, but they're not They're not quite the same. Anyway, Blood Bowl Ludus Magnus Studio. They've done Black Rose Wars and Sonnet Tempore. This is a 1 to 4 player for them. Generally, their solo stuff has been great for me in the past, but for Kings, yeah, this is a boss butler set amongst like vampires and Dracula's castle. It's got 2,000 backers, so it's doing pretty well. A lot of people backing these days. He 1 to 4 is boss butler for 1 to 4 players. You will control a group of unusual monster hunters. The individual returns to the village of Brand to build new epic weapons. Yeah, so okay. Each raid will bring you face to face with one of the Blood's champions. Yeah, so it's boss battle. So you're taking on a boss, and you come back and you level up. Okay. So look what we got in here. Lots of reds. They're going for a red, grey, black theme. Looks like a circus. Scarecrow. Hmm. Key elements. Dice and card driven action. Okay. Interesting. Crafting cards are going for infinite builds. By component miniatures. Not sure what that means. In 2 things you put together. So it could be that blood popping. That's kind of cool if you're into miniatures. Rewards like €109 your premium, €65 for your essentials. That's it. Rulebook ready to look at. Okay, someone's on a gameplay, which is fantastic. Oh, these guys. These guys look new on the block. New kids on the block. Beastie Geeks. How'd they get up so quick? I guess I am still lingering here probably because, as people said, my sound sucks on this. And I probably don't do good enough, enough time to do enough playthroughs, I guess. Alrighty, what else we got in here? The gameplay videos, I've done that. Where are we? Shipping. That might do us after shipping. And there's your shipping rates here. All right, move on. What we got next? So we've got Aces and Armor. The wonderful player game. Go away. We've got wonderful player game, competitive and co-op and solo. It's got 2 modes. Major tanks, aircraft, and troops through epic battles in World War II in a miniature warboard game. Got 534 backers, so it's doing fairly well. It's free shipping. But imagine they've inbuilt that money into the pledges themselves. PKB Games got 3 creators. I don't know what they have created before. Let's have a quick squiz. They have created a couple other war type games. Trench Club. I don't know it, but let's check this one out. Yeah, like a map, like a dudes on a map sort of risk type game looks and things. The pledges are €65 for the base, and that's it. Oh yeah, you got those cool little standees for the planes to make them pop. Under 2 hours. Experience goes on it as well. Okay, and the damage goes in. That's actually kind of cool. The dice, tokens, miniatures. There's 4 different factions with extra minis. Gameplay overview. Move your units. Movement range of your troops depends on the type of unit and on the terrain it's moving on. Okay. Play your attacks. Combat. Prepare and deploy. Yep, so nothing out of the ordinary like wargaming wise, but looks kind of I like this little mechanic here. I'm not sure how attacks work. I assume it's just dice rolling. Doesn't really say. What about Great Britain? Resonates well with backers. We are planning to follow up with expansion covering Battle of Britain. Okay. It's a rule book. There's someone here playing it. That's excellent. Thus, Tower has a bit of a go at it. Memphis Meeple mentions it. Actually, there's plenty here. Unboxings. All right, plenty of videos. Playthroughs, we'll play solo, excellent. That's what we got to check out right there. Spoiler, the human wins, well done. So I wonder if it's scenario based or is it just like a somewhat sandbox, just play as you go skirmish game? Cool. All right, let's move on. I got Bloodlines, the Veil, the deck building game, season 4. Season's come up before this game. Somewhat low on backers. It's past its goal though, but probably would do more backers. So it's solo co-op version of the game. I don't think it's the full stuff with you. Remember Death Angel Entertainment? $55 for the core decks. $89, $139 with double. $420 if it looks like everything. There's a pretty close. Oh, that's $755. Oh my god, it gets pretty dear for that. New to the Veil. Choose a hero. Is a new standard for deck. It's no small part because the generous support and grades concept is brought forth. Yep. Play cards from hand or purchase cards from your fate route. Assuming this graphic's meant to work, but it's struggling here. Play cards from your hand to banish or purchase cards from your fate route. I've already said that. Age recommendations. Okay. Yeah, there is previous campaigns that probably go more detail. I just want to know how solo works. Decks, how to play. 8 cards starting deck and a 36 card fate deck. Each player shuffles their 2 decks separately. Place 4 cards from your fate deck face up to create your fate route. Goes first and draws one less card in their turn. They deal damage to each other. That's head to head sort of damage. You wonder how solo works with that. Assuming there's some kind of AI. Solo, yeah, this is how you do solo. So you play the campaign book. Okay, so maybe it's a slightly different version of the game that you're playing up against someone or you're cooperating. Okay, let's go move on. What's next? We've got Nightshift. Players are dancer and charm customers are emptying their wallets in this thematic board game created by a former dancer. Yeah, there you go. By Exotic Cancer. It's got 3,293 backers. It's doing pretty well. $550,000 out of 30,000 goal. Right. So it's their first created. So they're doing pretty well for a first created game. Miniatures only. The standard edition's 120. It's an Australian game. It is too. It's from Melbourne. What's edition 180? Yeah, right. Players enter charm worthwhile customers to emptying their wallets. 4 game modes you can play co-op, solo, 2v2, competitive. Choose your dancer. Search a club for worthy customers. Use your charm and go into the room. So I probably should have prefixed this with probably a bit of an age limit on this one. Maybe there was through 2 push-off mini games. Okay. Game nodes, solo mode. Compete against Diamond, the club's most talented show, but you need to distract tipping customers from being captivated by her. So yeah, you go up against like an AI dancer. Oh, I wonder if there's any videos on it. There's no videos. It'd be really handy if they had some. I mean, it's hard to get, I guess. Oh, here we go. This person's got one. These girls have done one. You're right. And shipping. pretty cheap for China. All right. Next game. Let's get through these. Keep canceling these. Submachine card game for 1 to 4 players. Official card game for the Submachine franchise. Never heard of it. Nice. Is that a what that is? Build a maze of rooms using cards from your hand. It's funded 626 backers, so doing okay. Poland. First created as well, so you're doing really well. First created is always hard to get going. 100 Polish, which is the Australian for the standard pledge. The early bird, which is now gone. I'm a bit late for that. Something unlocks at 700 backers. It's probably the new tin. Yeah, metal. What is this? Competitive card game. So how do you play solo? The machine can also be played solo as a solitaire top of the game. You start the game with 9 cards in hand and try to play all cards in the lowest number of turns possible. Right, so it's a puzzle game for solo, which probably wouldn't have too much replayability. Maybe, I don't know. Nice little simple card game. For those interested. Cool. Next one. I have a rival push game of vectors. Diving the skies with a rival push crafted by real air traffic controllers for an authentic gaming experience. Still needs more backers to get over the funding goal at the moment. That's 1 to 6 players. Navigate the skies and have got airplanes to the airport in the ultimate air traffic control challenge. That looks kind of busy on the board there, but that pops out pretty nicely. It's got a long campaign. First created. Strategize, negotiate, dominate. Do you win the capacity as an air traffic controller? Well, that's an interesting thing. Okay, players use vectors to separate aircraft tokens from each other, weather, and other obstacles that may arise from events. Yes, I don't know vectors. I'm a mathematics teacher. Okay, how to play. Start with the event phase. Draw an event phase, play weather card for each player. Draw an event card. What? Event phase. Oh, you play launch cards, right? Weather card, then you draw an event card. You got movement. Okay. Use an engine token to adjust the speed of desired. Right, so yeah, you've got to avoid weather and things like that. Move the aircraft token board, adjust the airline token to any new terrains. The aircraft token shows move for the round. Yep, okay. Scoring phase, score aircraft that arrive this round. How does solo work? Huh, I don't know. Doesn't say. There you have it. So that's a rifle push. Next one I've got is Peaks. Assume the role of an aspiring mountaineer hiking up iconic hills from around the world, featuring a new tag-along mechanic. Someone just pledged a fair bit there. Got 549 backers. That's over. It's funded and it's doing fairly well. 2 created from Tangerine Games. $49 for the base set. Not a bad price. Good for board game these days, $69. Get some extra tokens. There's the last game, Mountaineer. But you get the mat with the dice tray stuff. You get extra ones for Trail Hiker. Yeah, so not bad price for the game, to be honest. Looks nice on the board. Got a few little token flags, things like that. Seeking to climb the most iconic mountains from around the world, so get your cardio up, gain some experience, gather your gear, and bring some friends. Okay. Now I know this theme, and I want to climb. That's what you want to do. Hey, the graphic works in this one. Choose an action. On your turn, perform one of the 3 possible actions: rest, prepare, or climb. When you need to regain energy for your next climb, choose the rest action, then travel to any continent and either gain energy up to your stamina or gain 2 energy. If you're in need of more mount pass or gear, such as a tent or carabiners, choose the repair action. That's drawing cards. And climb. Your ability to ready to scale the heights, choose to climb. Make sure you meet all the requirements. Choose between 2 sets of rewards. So is it based on your card if you can make it plus your own stats, I guess? Okay. Tag along with the players. and experience, unlock upgrades. That's kind of cool. This is probably my surprise of the week so far. This one looks it's interesting. Burn flags and claim victory. It looks like a. I'm not sure about solo though, but it looks like a nice casual co-op / competitive game. I'm not sure how it really plays yet in terms of that. I'm assuming there's a certain amount of points to get. I don't know how solo looks either. Solo mode AI cards, okay. Reminds me of the screen printed stuff from Dog Park. Maybe we'll go some Dog Park. I think so. Tangerine Games. Too creative. I don't think so though. What's the other game? Nestlings, which also looks pretty. Okay. Yeah. It says if you're new to Kickstarter, which probably some people like with this kind of like hobby type game. Cool. Shipping down here. Usual shipping. All right. What do you want? Next one. So I think this is my last one of the week that I've noticed, but I'll talk about Backerkit and Gamecrafter in a moment. Effortless, prepping for adventure. 1 to 5 players, 20 to 40-minute game, visiting locations, increasing attributes, collecting armor, and crafting items. It's almost funded. 17 backers. It's coming from Barn Made Games. Their first grade, another one that's first grade. $39 for base pledge, which is quite cheap for a game. $79 for the deluxe all-in. $499 for a founder pledge. Very interesting. So again, another adventuring type game. The theme of adventuring. Looks like you got a base camp and there's places to go. Lightweight worker placement board game with elements of set collection and a dash of Take That. So I wonder how Take That goes with solo. That's what I worry that would Take That. Key features. Place a cube, take a card, refill, that's it. Okay. Yeah, it does look good to be honest from here. Over 3 billion possible setups. And premium components. What about now? How to play. Place one of your effort at one of the 6 locations and gain a card. That's the effort there. And you gain the card next to it. If the location has effect, activate it. Move another player's effort from here to any other location. Okay. Refill locations. Missing cards from top to bottom. Okay. Armor and items. Well, I'm not collecting armor on it. It's weird. Score greatness based on your armor sets and completed items. So it's more of a fantasy set, is it? Didn't realize that. Score greatness for having the most of an attribute. Okay. This looks a very competitive style. I wonder how solo works. Tamed expansion, there's dragon expansion. New setting. Yeah, solo mode, there it is. Take on 2 automated opponents, all race to defeat threats before time runs out. 2 ways to play. It has a great solo mode, that's very fun, fast to play. Okay, so Richard Rado loved it. Clean Island Tabletop Simulator, that's very good. Okay, solo, was there a video of solo? Come back up. Oh, no, there's not. Hopefully Rado maybe outputs one. I don't know. There's some shipping. All right. Backerkit, nothing going on there. Seems to be more and more just role-playing games on here. So if you love your role-playing games and if you want me to go through them, give me a comment. I could have a look at a couple. On to Gamecrafter. Roam Alone I've done in a previous video. The rest here are not single-player games. So let's talk about there either. And upcoming on Gamefound, I love how Gamefound has this filter where you can just do this for one player and upcoming. Brilliant. Kickstarter, it's all over the shop. You just get a bunch of STL files and stuff. Kemet, Rise of the Gods, would be one to check out. I think for me, although there's a lot, it might be a bit too hard to catch up. But they have created like a solo mode and Pender or Celeste. Checking out Tanglewoods. new decks in 20 strong series. That's coming in 2 weeks. 20 strong. I've got 20 strong. The Solar Sentinels, which I thought was okay. Didn't really bring me into it. It was okay for a quick little travel game. Too Many Bones I really like. That was the favorite of my original 3 for me personally. It does have that Too Many Bones feel without having to spend $300 Australian. Get it. And I do have Too Many Bones and 20 strong on my playthrough list if you want to look check them out. And Hopper Marcus I found was pretty damn tough, like too tough. They turned me off after a few plays. So I'd be curious where it takes with this. I've heard that they're going to do some rogue one because it's 3 decks. I think it's red or one of them. It's going to do a rogue type scenario where you, I don't know how they're going to work, but yeah, I think of Slay the Spire where you're moving up and choose your pathway where you're going to go. And what else we got? We've got Sirens in 2 weeks. And the rest are a bit further away. All right, so let's just end it there. I've talked for long enough. Pretty big week. A few big ones this week for me personally. I think Odalin, Hexplore, it's Blood. All doing very well already. Even some of the smaller stuff had some good looking things about them. Like a couple of venturing ones I just looked at. Like the Peaks one looked pretty interesting. That's my surprise one for the week. But my pick is probably I'm gonna have to go Odalin. Even though I'm a bit skeptical how it's going to be like the solo, but and mainly because I've already got enough Explore stuff. But you know, a Siege, I always love tower defense, so I think I'll probably be backing both Explore and Odalin personally. If I can afford it, I don't think I've got the money for it though, so I might have to do that stretch pay for the first time. All right, so let's crush the game first. Play solid.